sure it is, right? I mean, I think we're really good at doing the next thing, we all know what's at stake, but I think you have to go play your game. I think the minute you start getting out of what has gotten you here, you get into trouble. So that's the mindset I want them to have. I think that's what we've done all year, and you gotta lean into it, man. It's an important game for sure. These guys are really good at getting prepared every day, so there's no other way to go about it. But they understand the magnitude of it.
Go to the second row on your left.
Good to see you again, Maury
Likewise.
from the Roz and Mocha Show. So I wanted to find out from you. One can only imagine late at night you're doom scrolling on your phone, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Do you ever see the comments that people leave questioning the decisions you make, saying that they disagree or whatever? Do you ever see those comments, agree with what they're saying? What are your thoughts on what they have to say?
For one, I don't have TikTok.
I find that hard to believe.
No. Two, I don't have Twitter. And three, could care less what people think about me other than in my clubhouse.
Fair.
And we'll go to the second row on the left.
Hey, John. George is back in the lineup. You said yesterday that all you needed to hear from him was that he was good to go. So what was that conversation like?
He was in good spirits yesterday. I think just getting some reassurance with the CT scan coming back. It was going to take a whole lot more, I think, to keep him out of the lineup. So he was feeling better yesterday, feeling better today. Was checking in with him via text this morning. He basically told me to shut up. Did the same thing when he got in today. So he'll be ready to go. He's a little bit sore. He's got some good seam marks on his knee from the sinker there, but I trust when George says he's good. He's played through a lot in his career, so he's good to go.
Standing in the back left, John.
Thanks, John. Relatively short amount of time for Pete Walker to work with Trey, but what have you observed in their relationship and the ability to make quick adjustments, as in the case today?
It's interesting, because this guy got drafted last year, and we've asked a whole lot of him this year, and he's been an open book since he's gotten here. There's always things, I think, I always joke with Pete, it's like, finishing school when you get up here. There's always little things that he can help with or that other veteran pitchers can help with. So Trey's been really, really pretty quick on learning some things since he's been here. Whether that's with his delivery, whether that's with, varying his times to the plate, how to read a game plan, how to dissect it, how to make adjustments. They've been pretty seamless. Trey, I can't speak enough about Trey and how seamless he's kind of transitioned to this level. But I think Pete is a really good voice for him, and I think the pitchers are a really good voice for him, and they've been working really well.
Fourth row on your left, Jordan.
John, what do you make of the uptick in splitter usage across the league over the last couple of years?
I think for a long time it was a pitch that people just thought they couldn't learn. If their middle and index finger couldn't go bend a certain way. And I think guys have adapted different grips and different styles to it. So like anything, I think the game evolves with what they're seeing from hitters. 5 years ago it was high fastball, 12-6 curveball, and sweeper comes in with a sinker and a cutter. I think guys are just more well-equipped, off season and facilities and all that kind of stuff to kind of learn how to make a pitch do a certain thing. So I think that's kind of where we're at.
One row ahead, John.
It's great to see George in the lineup, but you've got a lot of guys banged up. Nate took that foul ball in game one. Ernie banged up at the end of the season there. Is it the adrenaline of these guys? Is it knowing, hey, look, I can rest in the winter time? Or, just talk about how tough and what gamers these guys are.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's still playing, every team, every player on every team is dealing with it. Everyone's tired, everyone's banged up. Again, I think we always talk about if this were a postseason game where you'd be good to play, and we got a few guys like that. And they're doing everything that they can to be ready, stay ready. I always say there's always a little bit of a compromised version of somebody when you get to this point in the number of games they've played. So adrenaline does kind of take over, and the moment kind of makes you feel a little bit better when you are out there, better than you did right now and better than they will after the game. So it's definitely a real thing.
Fourth row on your far far right, John. Mike.
Have you guys looked into or discovered anything about the velocity drop that we saw from Trey in Game 2 and figured out what that might have been?
No, I think that kind of happens. You know, you kind of look at that with every pitcher. You know, I was a little even aware of Max in the fifth inning. You know, then he goes back out for the sixth, and it kind of ticks back up. So I don't think it was anything rather than kind of circumstance. You know, it's like a hitter getting his good swing off or not. Sometimes it doesn't really come out of your hand exactly how you want it. He hasn't said anything physically, nothing from a delivery standpoint. So I think he'll be adrenaline talking about today. I think he'll be good.
And just further to that question about, you know, TikTok and all of that stuff, you've answered before in the past as like, you know, this job comes with whatever that spotlight's going to shine. You're going to get criticism. Your answer here was a little bit different, but is there a conscious effort from you now to shut that stuff out or to you know, ignore everything more because there's more coming just because we are in the place in the calendar where we are?
Yeah. You know, I think back to a couple of years ago when you're starting in this position. I think you care about it more then because you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to do what's right by your players. I think the more you do it, the more you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Again, not everyone in this room is privy to information I am. And again, man, I get that this is a job and these guys have jobs where everyone gets to go to their job and ask them why they did something. You know, I've never been to your guys' places of work. Don't pretend like I want to. But I think it's just a matter of circumstance, you know, and I think just the more open and transparent I can be, the better off it is. You know, I've said this a lot this year. I think you just have to be very prepared, very convicted in a decision. Trust the people around you that have helped get to this point. You make a decision, you move on. You know, I've lost plenty of sleep over the last couple of years about things that haven't gone right. And I don't gain sleep when things do go right. You know what I mean? It's just you realize this is the position you're in and you're trying to do what's right by the group. And again, man, it's when you have a group this tight, again, like I love talking to you guys, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like I care what they think and I care how they respond to what I say. Everyone has the power to type something and hit send. You know what I mean? The world we live in. So that's kind of just where I'm at with it.
Second row on your right, John.
Me again, John. Jose Barrios was playing catch in left field a little bit earlier today. Do you have an update on him?
Nothing concrete. You know, he was not throwing there for a while, a couple weeks. So I think he's just back to playing catch, you know, and we'll kind of revisit everything when the offseason hits and kind of see what that looks like for him.
Sixth row on the left center aisle, John.
Hey, John. At this point, given all that's happened in the series, how much stock, if any, do you put in the idea that one team has momentum over the other, or is every game just its own discrete event?
It's crazy, you know. They win 2 here, we win 2, they win 1. I think every game is kind of just its own thing. Again, that's why I think we try to approach it that way. You try to approach it, you know, like a normal game. Again, easier said than done. But every game, I think, is just its own thing that is going to happen. So momentum, yeah, I get it. They have a 1-game advantage on us. We got a chance to play 2 games at home where we play really well. So weird, you know what I mean? Those moments happen, you know, they unfold in front of you, you know what I mean? So you never know who's going to make the big pitch, big swing. A couple of days ago, it was them. 2 days before that, it was us, you know, so you got to just focus on what you're doing.
Fourth row on your left, Ben.
Hey, John. Ahead of a day like this where it's kind of must win and presumably all hands on deck, do you let your relievers know, hey, I might go to you in this situation or against these hitters, or do they just know they have to be available?
Yeah, they know. Again, I think postseason is different than regular season for sure, but I think that they know it's all hands on deck, you know what I mean? We're not worrying about tomorrow. You're worrying about today, you know. If you don't worry about today, there is no tomorrow. So, yeah, they'll be ready for anything. I think that they have been for a while.
Go back to the second row on your left.
I still haven't downloaded TikTok.
Then how are we ever going to do a TikTok dance together?
Yeah.
So I also want to find out. Also want to ask you. Look, the team values your opinion. They love what you have to say. The country loves what you have to say. Moments before the team goes out on the field tonight, what is your message going to be to the team? What is your motivational speech? What are you going to say?
Don't have a motivational speech. The message is the exact same every day. Be you and enjoy the moment. You know what I mean? We're one of 3 teams left, you know. So when we play really well, every single guy in that clubhouse is being who they are, nothing more, nothing less. And that's going to continue to be the message as long as we play this year. That's it. You have to enjoy the moment. You know what I mean? This is what we all sacrifice for. This is what we all work for. I said it yesterday. We've won 1 game in a row 99 times this year. So we got a pretty good chance to do it again.
Do a couple last ones. The 6th row on your right, John.
John, can I ask you to zoom out and end of September 2024, if someone had told you that October 19th, 2025, you'd be in a Game 6 ALCS at home, what would you have said?
I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take it. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes to improve ourselves, roster, improve our communication, improve our processes, all that kind of stuff. This is why you do it. You know what I mean? How you get there always gets magnified and scrutinized, you know. But when you look at a chance to play in front of our crowd on October 19th, when most of the league is sitting at home, you take it. You know what I mean? So you have to enjoy it. You have to be proud of the things you've done to get here. But again, if you told me that last year or day 1 of spring training, if you say, hey, you got a shot to win 2 games at home to go to the World Series, sign me up every time.